Hey, Fran fam, welcome back to another edition of welcome to another edition of Life and Style with Francyne, not Fran Encouragement, although hopefully this segment will encourage you. Joining me today is J Love, a personal Facebook friend. She's going to talk a little bit about the journey she's on in regards to fighting for her wrongly incarcerated son, Gerard Haycraft. Welcome, J Love, to the show. Hi, Jay.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate you for coming on the show. I know you're a pro at this, a veteran, so to speak. You've been speaking out against wrongful incarceration, the facial recognition, the error in that. Talk a little bit, take us back to what began this journey for you. What happened to Gerard and lead us up to this point?
Okay, so Gerard is my oldest son, and he got up one morning and walked to the store, and next thing you know, someone accused him of an unarmed robbery that happened like 3 days ago. So he was surrounded by a group of men, accused of a robbery. The person who was the victim, she in the beginning denied that it was him.
Okay.
That he wasn't the person. But as the story goes along, it changed. And now he went to court because he wanted to fight it. It's not him. He didn't do it. And now he's incarcerated in Jackson, Michigan for a crime he didn't do. So since that day, I have been fighting for justice for him. He suffers from Crohn's disease. He's been sick for a long time.
Yeah.
So it makes it even more heartbreaking for me that he has to not only be incarcerated for something he didn't do, to be incarcerated and to be sick. With that's a whole nother conversation about the healthcare in prisons. But so that's where we are today. He ended up getting COVID because he has Crohn's disease, so he's vulnerable. Crohn's disease, it works with your immune system. It compromises your immune system. So he was a candidate to get COVID because, in the prison system, it's very crowded. And so one person gets something, almost everybody gets it. So.
And he's your oldest child?
Yes.
Okay. How old is Gerard now?
Now he's 31. Or be 32. Mm-hmm.
And how long has he been incarcerated?
Since January the 24th, 2019. Okay.
So it's been a little over a year.
Right.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize he was in 30s, early 30s. I didn't know. I see your post. And we'll talk about that, your virtual diary that we place on Facebook. I see it in my heart. I want to do something. And that's why I wanted to have you on the show, because I wanted to lend my platform, as others have done, to, in some kind of way, to help you tell his story, get it out there. And you've been doing a wonderful job of doing that. And I know the ultimate goal is to get him released. Yes. Now, he's incarcerated for how long? How was he? He was committed for how long? Not committed, but charged.
Yeah. He was sentenced to 2 to 17 years.
How long?
2 to 17 years for something he didn't do. So his minimum is 2 years. So Michigan, we don't have good time anymore. So you have to serve at least your minimum amount.
Okay.
So, and as this journey is what Gerard has been going on, I'm learning so much about the prison system and how it works. And it's really sad because in his case, you know, people always contact me and say, well, contact the Innocent Project or the Innocent Clinic. And it's not that easy. You have to exhaust all your appeals. And with him just getting in there, he's not a candidate for that.
Oh, okay. For appeals?
He's a candidate for appeals, but not for the Innocent Clinic.
Got it. Okay. What is the Innocent Clinic? What is that? What is the purpose of the Innocent Clinic? Why people are suggesting that?
Because right now, a lot of people are being exonerated that has been wrongfully accused of a crime.
Right.
But if you notice, they've been there 20 years or 30 years, in some cases 40 years.
Wow.
So they have exhausted all their appeals, and this is their last opportunity, the Innocent Projects or the Innocent Clinics, to get justice. So like Gerard is just in the beginning stages of this journey, but I can't like not say anything or not fight for him just because he's in the beginning.
Absolutely.
I have to like start now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't want to wait 2 years and then start, you know, unfortunately, you got to get behind, you can't get in front of the 8 ball. You got to be behind the 8 ball.
Right.
Has anyone come forward for the armed robbery?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of. This is, there was a video. The lady was standing in front of an ATM machine. So there was a video for that. No one got the video. So that video will probably be, you could have probably seen a person's face. But with the police not obtaining a video and the lawyer at the time not obtaining a video, that information could never be brought forth. There was a video from a store across the street that captured the robbery in action, but all you see were the backs of heads.
Okay.
So the back of the lady head, the back of the person head. So there was no video that, or, you know, anything. This is 3 days later, like I'm saying.
Sure.
And there's no video or anything that places him here other than the person saying that he's the person. Yes. And if you understand wrongful convictions or wrongfully incarcerated, one of the things that one of the main reasons that people get in these positions is because of eyewitness misidentification.
Yeah.
So when you have these situations like this, almost a lot of people who are being exonerated, wrongful, you know, is either DNA or misidentification. So in this case, you know, when you have someone, you know, tall and thin, he fits that description because he suffers from Crohn's disease. So he's thin.
Okay. So are you at this point seeking to make sure he served no longer than 2 years? Is that what your goal is at this point, or to have him released before then?
Well, because of COVID and everything that's going on, I don't think that's going to happen. There is, he has a lawyer that's in the process of his appeal. But before this lawyer, I talked to other lawyers, and they said he would probably be out before he even gets to his appeal or he gets to go to court.
And is that because the appeal could take longer than the 2 years minimum sentence?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So
paperwork or just a you know,
I guess that's just the process. And I get so many people, and So the process is long. So it's a lot of things when we're talking about reform. There's a lot of things that needs to be changed. I think we're doing things based off of old paradigms and old ways of doing things. And there's
your thought on that. What do you think? How do you think it needs to change based on where you are? You're in the thick of it. It's easy for someone to talk about something that they've never experienced. And it's not to say they can't be a voice or have an explanation or an opinion, more so.
Right.
It's easier for someone else to say that. But you on the inside looking out, you're in the inside experiencing this, with a loved one. So you can see some things, like the appeal is going to take as long as he's there, certain minimum time, not 17 years, 2 years. Right. So it's like, just wait.
You need a new process, something that can work faster if you have information.
Yeah.
I know that in Detroit now we have the Convention Integrity Unit, but that's just only one person that's running this process.
Okay.
So it needs, I don't know, I don't have all the answers, but it needs to be some kind of system in place for if there's evidence or if there's something that comes up after this trial that is found or withheld, that in his case, some things was withheld. So if there's these things that you find out that's withheld, there needs to be a faster process than people being in prison, fairly or at a longer than they should be because of something they didn't do.
Because it's definitely that's definitely not a vacation spot. So, what happens while this information that's withheld or evidence that's withheld or something new, that has to be processed first before anything is done. You know what I mean? So there's that waiting time to wait for, like you're saying, some evidence has been withheld. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we found a video after the trial that we didn't know of the lady saying that it wasn't him.
Okay.
So if you're going to show a video of a back of a person, doing something that will sway people, you should also be able to show a video of the lady saying, hey, that's not him,
Exactly.
So and things like that, like, phone data. He had a phone. The phones were lost until after the trial, they found the phones. So, things like that would have changed the whole outcome.
Absolutely.
Of this whole dynamic. If these things come up, there should be somebody you can talk to immediately, and so I know, because it's my kid and this is just how I feel, but I feel this for everybody,
Sure.
So.
Sure. I am so sorry. I had no idea, and I didn't know, I know you post a lot. I know because he has Crohn's and then COVID, it just put him in such a unfortunate predicament on top of being incarcerated. How is he doing now?
So he's doing great. I talk to him all the time during the COVID. Wash your hands. It's hard to be clean in there. So
when
you get off the phone from me, go wash your hands. For the prisoners, they gave them vitamins. They mostly took vitamins. So I sent them extra vitamins, vitamin C and vitamin D. There's only so much you can send anyway. So, and then, positive conversations, because you can easily lose hope in those type of situations. Wrongful incarcerated, sick, now I have COVID. He was telling me
that. Yeah, I mean, people that aren't even under those conditions, are what is it, mentally impacted by all of this. So,
Right.
or negatively impacted and mentally affected by all of this. So
Right.
talk about, we're going to come back because there's some other things we need to talk about as far as the rally and whatnot, but we can go right into that and go into and talk about the positivity and how you stay positive, because it feels heavy when I hear it. I feel the heaviness, you know, as a mother to mother,
Right.
of a Black son who is going about everyday life, whatever it is, just a routine, going to the store or, you know, running to your car, whatever.
Right.
And then something unfortunate, very unfortunate like this happens.
Right.
So he's there. Does he have family? You know, does he have children or anything like that?
No, he doesn't have family, but this also, as he was the day he was found guilty.
Yeah.
They found his father deceased. He had had been dead, I guess, a few days. He had a major heart attack. So that night he called me after, you know, court. I'm telling him that his dad just died. So this kid has been through a lot. So, you know, navigating that, trying to help the family and him at the same time deal with that. It's a lot for him. It was a lot for me, actually. So
I can imagine. So so at this point, what is your goal while he is there? Are you, and I think I asked this before, so you're looking at making sure he only serves 2 years, correct?
I wish he could come home tomorrow, but
of course, absolutely.
Yes, I don't want him in there any longer than he has to be. So that is one of my goals. The other thing is for justice. And because since I've been on this journey and I toyed with it in the beginning, like, should I say something? Should I write something? You know, because Facebook says, what's on your mind? This is on my mind.
You asked, right?
Right. So, and I just started talking about it, you know, using it as therapy, actually, to release in the beginning. And so many other mothers started contacting me. And you wouldn't believe these stories. So over this year, I have a network of other mothers who have sons or daughters that's wrongfully, or loved ones that's wrongfully convicted. And they've been in this way longer than me. So that's where I got the idea for the Justice Rally.
Okay.
Give the mothers a voice to speak about how this has impacted their lives.
Yes.
You don't really get to hear from the mother that she's crying over her kid that's dead or at a funeral. You know, you hear these stories from how from her perspective. As we are going through everything with the George Floyd and how we're seeking justice right now. You don't hear from the mothers. So I thought, you know, someone gave me an opportunity to speak. So I really want these ladies to, you know, be able to speak as well, tell their stories. And as we tell our stories, we can control the narrative and we can educate, you know, our communities about how this happens. And it can happen to anybody at any time.
And it sounds to me like I always say, and this was something that came to me this morning, your tribe can't find you if you don't say anything.
Right.
Your tribe can't find you if you're silent, because they're following, you know, they're following a path to find others, because there's nothing like support. There's nothing like knowing you're not alone, knowing that someone else has gone through what you're gone through or going through,
Right.
So, you know, it's almost as if being the mother of someone who was wrongfully convicted and now incarcerated, this chose you. This path chose you. You didn't choose it. Of course you didn't, because that's who really sets out to say, well, I'm going to be, you know, an activist for a son who was wrongfully convicted.
Right.
What are some of the obstacles? So when is the rally first?
Right. So the rally is on the 4th of July.
Okay.
And it's from 3 to 6. And it's in Redford Township. And I have a story why I picked Redford, but I live in Redford for one.
Okay.
And,
what's the story?
Because when I was going through this thing in court with Gerard, I noticed the dynamics of the people who are in court are people who live outside Detroit. So there's 2 conversations. One about us not showing up in court.
Yeah.
How we should start thinking about that. You know, a lot of us say, I don't want to go. I don't want to do jury duty. That's a problem. And also, these communities don't hear these stories. They hear what's on the news.
Sure.
They hear what, you know, maybe someone else experienced, but they don't really hear from mothers. They don't really, I haven't seen it, you know, anyone go out and outside of Detroit and have these conversations. So that was my thing. Like, we're going to go outside of Detroit and we're going to have these conversations with people that normally don't look like us, that don't have these conversations, but they show up in court.
Okay.
And just do like an educational thing. You know, this is why these things happen, because there's not just Black people who end up wrongfully incarcerated.
Absolutely.
There's all kinds of people who end up wrongfully incarcerated.
Yeah.
So we need to invite everyone to the table and have these conversations. So this rally is just a peaceful rally to, you know, have the conversation, to involve a different thought.
Yeah.
And hopefully to engage people that we normally won't engage or we don't often engage.
Sure.
And maybe come to, you know, have some new community support and make some relationships with people outside of our normal circle.
What are some of the obstacles you're facing with the rally and executing this kind of endeavor?
Okay, so like I said, I'm having it in Redford. So I've been getting calls once they, you know, I did reach out to them in the beginning. Like I didn't know what to do, but I knew I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So I reached out to them, but you know, with COVID and everything, people were slow to getting back to me or never gotten back to me.
Okay.
So I said, okay, well, we can have it in a public thing. So I was thinking, hey, we'll have it at the town hall in the parking lot. So we're just gonna gather and talk and, you know, have mothers speak. So I didn't know that that was going to be a big deal because people, you know, planned on being away for vacation and now they got to call police in. And I'm these conversations like, hey, you know, this is about mothers. We're going to be peaceful. We're not going to be.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. We were going to do a food, give away free food, but we had to cancel that, you know, because it was kind of, they didn't have the coverage or, you know, it was going to be hard covering it.
Yeah.
So
logistic, you had a lot of logistic challenges.
Yeah.
So is it still going to be in the parking lot at Town Hall or no?
Yeah. Yes.
That's the message. That's the message. So from 3 to 6, what's the program layout, Jay? You get there, you know, how has reception been as far as, you know, anticipated attendance, you know?
So people have been reaching out that's interested, especially the mothers and, people that support them. We have Reverend Ed Pinkney from Benton Harbor. He's going to be there helping host. He has been wrongfully incarcerated for speaking up for justice. And also Trisha Duckworth from Survivors Speak. She's been really out here. She's been doing a lot of rallies and protesting in Washtenaw County.
Okay.
She started the one where the couple that were had the issue of being beaten by the police just recently. So.
Oh, in Atlanta? Was it Atlanta?
Ypsilanti.
Ypsilanti. Oh, God, yes, that's right. Yeah.
Right. So she's been working hard. So she's going to be there, and we're going to have different people that's been wrongfully incarcerated to tell their stories. And so we're just telling stories and giving out information, and we're going to have cool drinks and snacks because it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
And that's my intention to,
raise awareness, basically.
Yeah.
So that is from 3 to 6 on the 4th of July. I know we celebrate Juneteenth, but Independence Day, how appropriate. Freedom. Right. Freedom for Gerard and all the others who have been wrongfully convicted. Right. So it's 3 to 6 in Redford Township Town Hall parking lot.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And you're not marching or anything. You're gathering, or are you marching?
Well, I have a broken toe.
That's
the story.
Okay. Okay.
But so I don't think we're going to march. That's up in the air. But mostly it's going to be a gathering.
A gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Now, I saw where you had mentioned that Kim Worthy was not going to be there. Is that very important? Was that crucial?
No, that wasn't this event. I was one of the panelists for.
That's right. I'm getting them confused. Never mind. I see so many things. Somebody sent me something. It's like, you know what? I'm moving. So I do remember you were speaking because it was 3:00 or something, and I had a show at that time. I do. Right. I apologize. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So you talked about where you have to, as a mom. Hey, Renata. She says, "Hey, Jay."
Oh, that's my best friend.
Hey, Renata. You talked about, as a mom, making sure as much as you can in your control, he's okay. He's as well as you can manage from where you are, the vitamins, the positive conversations, the prayer. Talk about your way of staying positive, because if you're not positive, you can't you can't feed that to him. Right. Talk about some things that you do. I know that, we talked about earlier, the sage, and you do a lot of different things that are very vital for self-care.
Right.
So talk about the entrepreneurial side of Jay.
Okay.
Now that we've established you're definitely a mom activist, but there's an entrepreneurial side as well that enables you to carry this torch for your son and not lose your way. I guess that's a lot, but I said a lot, didn't I? But essentially, I'm assuming that helps you push through, because it's a tiresome journey. It's a long road. It's arduous.
Right.
So I hear it in your voice.
Right.
Talk about what you do. Talk about the sage. Hint, hint.
So first of all, you had to have a foundation.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a PK.
Yeah.
So, but I come from not only a religious but a spiritual
And for people who don't know what a PK is,
that's a preacher kid.
Yeah. Okay.
So my father was a Baptist minister.
Okay.
And so I have a spiritual connection. And then I go to a very spiritually based, non-denominational church.
Which is
a community. Our church is not a church, it's a community. So
yeah, that's important, because
right.
You can have a building and not a community.
Right. So I'm a part of a community that helps me stay balanced. So, and that's led by Reverend Shahira Stevens. So I have that. And then for myself, I burn the sage. I do affirmations. I listen to music. I have a garden. So, and then I make soap.
Yeah.
I do all these things besides that to give myself balance, so I won't just be so one-sided and focus all on, I can't not help but focus on Gerard every day, but
yeah,
so entwined in it that I can't operate. So I have these things I do. I do my garden. I'm growing sage. I'm growing lavender.
Nice.
And like I said, I make all natural soaps and body scrubs and stuff like that.
And where can we find those products, Jay?
On jjustnatural.com.
jjustnatural.com. And I do have your Instagram handle under your name, or under your picture. So Jay the Love Gangster.
Yeah.
I asked you yesterday, I said, what's your Instagram handle? And you said, I said, okay. Because love is so important.
Right.
Love is so important.
Right. So love is the cure-all.
Yeah.
So even with this, I could be angry at everything that happened.
Sure.
But what's going to happen is that anger is not going to get me, or it's going to take me away from my focus.
Sure.
Focus is justice, freedom for Gerard, healing for Gerard, you know, all these things that I have to navigate for him. Absolutely. I can't be angry at somebody else.
Yeah.
I have to forgive and let that go and keep.
And that's so crucial. I know, we definitely don't want to feel like anybody is walking over us, walking, on us or whatever, taking advantage and getting over, treating us like a doormat or anything like that. We definitely don't want anyone to feel like they have the right to mistreat us or use us or abuse us. However, I think attitude is so important. And I know it takes courage and fortitude because, that is your child. And there is that maternal instinct where you could be a little, like gangster, what I mean? In that regard, that's just a natural reaction.
Right.
As a parent.
Right.
But
and then as a mother of Black boys, you have these conversations.
Yeah.
Having these conversations since they were, 15, 16 years old.
That's a reality that a lot of people can't speak to. That's the reality of having a Black son and the challenges and the conversations. My son is 28. I'm calling him, you good? Where are you? If you're not home by a certain time, are you, it's not that I'm checking up on him and trying to treat him like a baby, but this is the reality in America.
Right. And we have to be honest with ourselves.
Yes.
What our sons, or now even our daughters, are okay. Yeah. You have to think, because you don't know who they're going to come across on the freeway, driving down the street,
girl, come on,
to a restaurant or anything. It's it's a reality that
Yeah.
we just have to acknowledge that it's there. So when you have these conversations with your sons and then something happens like this, you know, what do? You have to like dig deep, because now I got to come for him in a different way. I got to, you know, support him in a different way so he can be strong through this. Because if I'm breaking down, he's going to break down.
Sure.
He's going to give up. And he started this off as I'm fighting because I didn't do anything. So if he said I'm fighting because I didn't do anything, how can I not fight for him?
I know that's right. I know that's right. Yes. Yes. Anything you want to add before we close the show?
Wow. I just want to invite everyone to the rally.
Okay.
Just to hear these stories of the mothers. I invite everyone to go to change.org, justice number 4 for Gerard, Gerard, and sign the petition. You can read the story. And I also am, you know, think that everyone should just have these conversations with their children and their loved ones, because, and look at Google how the wrongful convictions or wrongful incarcerations happen.
Sure.
And just be aware that this can happen to you, this can happen to a family member, this can happen to anybody at any time. So,
you know, there was one thing that I did not, and forgive me, there was the amnesty, I think the Pulse Institute, Wrongfully, had written something on behalf of Gerard, a story or something, and then it was recognized by the Amnesty International. Is that correct?
Yeah, so yeah, he wrote a story about Gerard being incarcerated and with COVID, and how at that time we were sending emails, we were sending tons of emails to Lansing, to the governor, everyone, like saying, hey, we need to do something about these vulnerable people in these crowded conditions. And I think I was talking about it so much that Bank Thompson wrote an article about it. And yeah, Amnesty International has been, I guess, because it's been so bad in the United States with the COVID and the prisons, that they're, you know, are involved in this now. So
yeah, I have to clarify something. Okay. I smiled, but I saw Renata said, thank you for allowing Jay to share her story. And you're welcome, Renata. It's my pleasure. We had been talking, Jay and I, about sharing her story, and I'm just glad we got an opportunity, and I wanted to do it just before the rally, so this timing was perfect. Hi, Kalista. Is Kalista a friend of yours?
My
Kalista Wilson. Oh, hello, ladies. So it's good to know that you have support, your community. You've you know, Bankole, Sam, that enable you to get it out, and not hold it in, because that can be crucial to your health.
Yes.
And if you're not in a space, then you can't hold Gerard up, you know, at least from a spiritual and a mental place. Do you visit him?
So yes, I do. But since they went in quarantine March the 8th, he called me March the 8th and said, Mom, I think people have COVID in the prison. And I contacted people in Lansing, and they called me back, and it was like, no, there's no COVID, you know, in Michigan. And then March the 10th,
baby,
we got COVID. So I haven't seen him since February. So
okay. So the rally is July 4th.
Yes.
Redford Township Town Hall parking lot.
Yes.
3 to 6.
Yes.
Peaceful rally.
Oh.
Peaceful. We gotta say it, because folks, this world. That's
right.
the story.
We come in peace.
We come, yes.
We just want to talk, have these conversations, let mothers, because, you know, everyone, I'm blessed to be able to tell this story.
Yeah,
but
you are.
People who haven't been able to tell their story and they feel lost and they're going through so much. So to give some other mothers opportunity to tell their stories, to hear their perspective, to understand how these things happen, and to, you know, make a commitment to our community that, you know, we're going to do better. We're not going to let these things happen. We're going to hold people accountable. Hopefully,
Sure.
Get to that space where we can hold people accountable, because nobody is being held accountable. You know, these people are in jail 30 years. Who's being held accountable?
My God.
And so, and when you're paying out millions of dollars after they get out of being in jail wrongfully, we're the ones that's paying for it.
Right.
So
right. And I'm sure they would rather have had their life than to spend somewhere incarcerated 30 years and then get, you know, these payouts.
Right. That doesn't bring 30 years back.
It does not. You can't buy that back at all. And it just, wow. So, you know what? Do me a favor and send me your information for the how to get your products so that I can post that on my wall. Because I know, you know, unless you go back and write it down, you know, write it down. Unless somebody goes back to replay, and hopefully they will, they won't get the information. So if you can send me the website,
okay, I will
support your business, and as a Black-owned business, and you know, we just keep you lifted in prayer. We keep Gerard lifted in prayer, and all that are girding you about, and keeping you going forward, as you know, journey as this journey unfolds. We just pray that all goes well, that the rally is successful, and you continue to, you know, I think there is a blessing in sharing. You're allowing others to share and tell their stories, because when you have a platform, it's important to, I think it's important to share your platform, because sometimes that helps us, because you realize that you're not alone. So thank you. I feel better now that I have kept my word after a couple of times going live, and it's like, Jay, we need to talk. Let's talk about Gerard, and
appreciate you.
Yeah, and I trust, you know, supernatural healing, because I believe in supernatural healing, and all that God has in store for him. It's unfortunate that this has happened, but I'm glad that he has you as his mom to disrupt, you know, what was meant to ruin him. So thank you again. Keep us posted as you do with your virtual diary. We'll keep for good news and good report, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, my dear.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, honey. Thank you again for tuning in to another edition of Life and Style with Francyne. You can get more information. I'll be sure to post the rally information on my wall, as well as the information for her sage and her soap and other products that she makes. I appreciate you guys for tuning in a second time today. This is my second show that I did today. I did one at 12 with Angela Ray, an actress. It is on my YouTube, Facebook, and YouTube and Facebook. You can follow me on @FrancyneWalker.com. That is my YouTube. I'm sorry, my Instagram. I'm getting them all mixed up, guys. My Instagram is at francinewalker.com. My YouTube, just search Francyne Walker, FRANCYNE Walker, and my channel will come up. Or you can go to my Facebook page, Life and Style with Francyne. Just put that in the search box and it'll come up. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Stay tuned for another episode tomorrow, airing at 6 p.m. I believe. So it'll all come up as a live stream. So I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Mwah.